Okay, so this system here is in equilibrium, right? All the forces balance, right? So I want to get here an x and a y resolution, okay, in order to work out my p and q. Now, obviously 12 is going in that y direction and 8 is going in that x direction. That's great, but the q, right, is being pulled sort of, so it's going across and up, isn't it, so to speak. That force there is going to have a movement in this direction and that direction. All right, and the same with P. It's going to have a movement going across and up. Okay, so it's got a component in the x direction and a component in the y direction. In order to work out what those components are, you could draw a little triangle by the side here, right, to demonstrate that you've got my Q here going on an angle of 30 degrees. All right, so basically, we've got a right angle triangle, okay, 30 degrees, and this would be your adjacent, wouldn't it? That would be your opposite, and that would be your hypotenuse. Okay, now to get the components that we need, right, we need to sort of have the x direction component, so it'll be along this side here, won't it? All right, which would be my adjacent, and using the hypotenuse for my q force, a and h then will be cos, that'll be cos 30 equals a over h, which is q, and all you've got to do, of course, is take the q up, and you appreciate then you've got q times cos 30, and that will give you your a, right? The same then for the opposite, right? To get the opposite, you use sine 30, right, equals opposite over q, right? Opposite over hypotenuse, you take the q up then, so you get q sine 30, okay? So that will be your opposite sort of component. So, when I label my forces here, I've got q cos 30 going across, and q sine 30 going in the y direction. Alright? Now, we do exactly the same here. You don't have to keep drawing triangles, although you could actually draw one on the actual shape if you want. Okay? We appreciate then that this is the adjacent here, and that's the opposite, and that's the hypotenuse. So the adjacent side is the one with the angle here, yeah? So that's going to be cos, because adjacent's got the cos in it, A and H, so that would be P cos 45. And then, of course, the opposite side then would involve sines in it, over H, so that would be P sine 45. Okay? So labeling on here, P sine 45 and P cos 45. Okay? So now the forces in equilibrium. So in the x direction, right, these forces here, 8 plus q cos 30 will equal p cos 45. Okay, and in the y direction, p sine 45 plus q sine 30 will equal 12. Okay, so these are two equations, 1 and 2, and we're going to treat them like simultaneous equations because you've got two unknowns, q and p and q here. Okay. And we need to obviously establish what P and Q are. And I think this question says to one decimal place. And we've got two equations, so we'll use simultaneous equations. The way I perhaps go about this is you're not going to be able to do this by elimination, okay? You can't just say, oh, let's add equation 1 or 2, right? It's going to be too much work there. What we can do is substitute. So if we look at number 1 here, number one there, I can get P on its own, can't I? If you think about it, P can be isolated, because you could just take that cos 45 over, can't you? So 1 becomes 8 plus q cos 30 divided by cos 45 will equal P, yeah? That's what I could do there, just take the cos 45 over, and then I'll sub this into 2. Okay, and what's good about this is, you'll see now, P, right, is just all this here, yes? So that'll be 8 plus q cos 30 over cos 45. Okay, so that's what your P is there. And you've got to times it by sine 45 plus q sine 30 equals 12. Now what's great about this is, right, cos 45 and sine 45 are the same, right? If you type that into your calculator, they come out the same. That's 1 over root 2, that's 1 over root 2. So it's like this divided by this should equal 1, shouldn't it? Because they're the same, they'll cancel out. Alright? Okay, and then you're left with 8 plus q cos 30 here, plus then q sine 30 equals, we got equals 12. Alright, now next step is we'll take that 8 over to the side, but if you notice here, we've got q cos 30, q sin 30. I mean, what are we meant to do here with these? We could work out cos 30 on a calculator, sin 30 on a calculator, but the other step is you could think, well, there's q in both terms, so let's just factorise out that q, okay, because q is in both. Let's factorise it out, so we have cos 30 plus sin 30, factorised out. And remember now, I've taken that 8 over, so that becomes 12 take away 8, that becomes 4, doesn't it? Yeah? And I factorise out the q here, so then to get q, all I've got to do is take that over to the side, the cos 30 plus sin 30, and you get your answer for q. So 4 over cos 30 plus sin 30, make sure you're in degree mode, and we get 2.9, okay, I believe that was to 1 decimal place, yeah, so 2.9 newtons. And then to get P, all you've got to do is sub it in here. So if I call this 3, okay, we just say, look, sub in 3, so P will equal 8 plus 2.9 cos 30 over cos 45. So get my calculator, and perhaps what I'll do is I'll do 8 plus ants, let's get a fraction, 8 plus ants, cos 30, so I've got it even more precise, over cos 45, and I get my answer. Let's press the SD button, I get 14.9 newtons, correct to 1 decimal place.